Hello, everybody. Ziggy here. Wanted to spend a few moments and discuss pop reports and some of the probably hottest basketball cards right now in the last few years, Luka and Zion. So pop reports, again, population reports of how many cards been graded by the grading companies, Beckett and PSA, who I'm using it as an examples today. You can go to Beckett. You have to have an account, and you can do search on Beckett Pop Report. The account can be free, or if you ever use Beckett, you probably have an account. PSA is wide open. You don't need an account. You can search PSA wide open. So real quickly here, let's just take a look at Zion. A few things I thought were interesting. There's one Zion with a wrong back that graded an 8.5. That's interesting to me because if you look at Luka, there's one Luka that graded with a wrong back that's a 4.0. So does Panini make a 1 of 1 with each rookie with a wrong back? Like, is that, bet you, and what happens? They like sand it? Anyway, so looking at the two Beck reports here, let's look at a couple things. Black label Zions, there's 23 of those, 414 pristines, 5,200 9.5s, and 1,300 9s. So they've done 7,300 Prizm base, and a vast majority of that, we're looking at 5,000, what's that, almost 80%, 75%, something like that, grade 9.5 or higher. You can see some other cards that are here. I'm not going to spend time going into that, but it's kind of interesting to see how many have been graded, like draft picks, autograph Prizm. Only one has gone through PSA. Is that right? Anyway, when I look at Luka, okay, Luka's been on the market longer, right? He only has 3,700 cards. Why is that, right? So I just thought it was interesting. A lot less, only 3 black labels. But again, a vast majority make 9.5 or higher. Now, let's look at PSA. Looking at Zion, again, if I go back to Zion's Beckett numbers, he has 7,300 graded PS or BGS. He has 6,300 PSA. Now, I bet you you're going to see more PSA numbers increase, because I think people did BGS because it was fast and easy to get, and PSA takes time. And I know I'm waiting on some PSA cards from Zion, so I think this number is going to go up. But what's interesting here, a little over 50%, maybe 55 to 60%, are getting the PSA 10, which is big money for this card. The rest of them are falling, at 9 and below. And there's some pretty bad ones there, right? I don't know how you get a 3 or 4 and why you're grading it if you're that bad. And I will say one thing I said before, if I got PSA 9s of this, I would crack it and sub it to BGS for a 9.5. I actually have one of the 8s. One of my kids' cards, he graded it. He had a bad corner. Okay, so looking at Zion, 63 and 73. So it's roughly what, 13,600 graded base cards. 13,000. Wow. Now Luka. We showed Luka. Let's show Luka's his PSA numbers. 14,000 Luka PSA. I'm just pausing for a moment because think about that, man. You got Beckett over here, 3,700. And only 110 of them went 10s, right? 1,900 were 9.5s. Okay, so if you got a Luka, I don't think I'd send it to BGS, man. I don't think I'd send it to them at all, unless you got a 9 and you're cracking it for a 9.5, because they give those out like the hotcakes. But again, looking at this, man, look at this though. PSA, 10,000 10s. Now I saw somebody do a video on this earlier. This is not a secret. But this card's grading very well PSA. So if you got Luka's and they're in good shape, I think their centering and everything is pretty solid on this card. So great card to get. And again, going back to Zion, you don't see the same discrepancy here, man. Even though there's big difference in money between a PSA 10 and a BGS 9.5, right? There's 5,200. I really think that has to do with, like that is business that BGS, in my opinion, took from PSA, or PSA lost that money. But a lot of 9.5 floating around. I don't think I'd crack a 9.5 to try to get a PSA 10. So Anyway, I hope this video is useful to you guys, give you a sense of what population reports are. We'll mark that this is being recorded on May, I believe it's the 22nd, 2020, and we'll check back in a few months and see how these pop reports have changed.